Hello to my Leos. This is Queen Amun Ra coming to you with your general reading. Let's get into it, Leos. Let's see what's in your cards. Let's see what's for this week for you. So for those of you all who are new to my channel, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. All right, Leos. Talking to you wherever Leo is in your birth chart. All right, you have definitely moved on from something. Definitely moved on, right? That's what you have in common with somebody. Somebody else has already moved on from shady energies, and so have you. You said, you know what? Let me just take a cue and just tip on out, right? You toss something into a burning bowl, you don't want to be bothered. You only want to be connected to certain energies, So when you find out you have things in common with other human beings who may have been hurt, talked about behind their backs, all this other stuff, been compared to other people, here we have the Seven of Cups. If you watched my previous video, Leos, when I talked about in your reading, knowing your worth, and when a person says to you, I can get better or I can find better than you and all of this other stuff, go back and watch the previous video, because that's where the questions also are there for this moon coming up in Gemini. Well, the moon is in Gemini if you're watching it on Sunday, November 17th. But when you're in environments where people are basically telling you that they can find a better you, whether it's a job, your personal or your professional, doesn't really matter. Even in your own family, they treat you like you can be replaced or you're replaceable. So it's like that's when you need to go ahead and tip on out, so you can keep being happy, charismatic, and free. That's when you need to follow the lead of any other family member that has said, you know what? Oh, that's what the frequency y'all on in this family. All right, I'm out. Or friendship group, or job, or love relationship, where people keep comparing you to exes, and they could have been with this person, they could have been with that. Then that's where you need to be. So yes, you coming right out the gate swinging, right? So yeah, that's where they need to be. It don't matter who it is, that's where they need to be. That's what's going to increase your compassion for self and compassion for other people who have left behind situations where they were burned. Where they were burned by people who basically treated them like they could be replaced. That's where your compassion is going to increase. It's going to spike up. Because never again you're going to start saying, okay, that emotional connection there. And remember, water takes the form of whatever you put it in. So if you're in an environment, and if you're water, your emotions, your feelings, your subconscious habits, your mood, your sexuality, your sensuality, all of that is water, right? Your joy, your emotions, joy, right? All of that is in an area where people like to instigate, like to compete, compare, judge, all of this other stuff. If you're in that kind of an environment, that spirit has taken over of competing, comparing, judging. I can get a better you. My ex would have done this, or if I had not, I could have found better. I was just about to marry somebody else, or I was going to date somebody else, or whatever. Then that's where you need to be. That's where you need to be. I was going to pick a better candidate for the job. Then that it's time for you to start getting on that keyboard and start looking for something else. It's not time for you to hang your head and look like, oh wow, I just feel horrible. Like I could have. Source is saying, no, that's the wrong environment. That's what Source is saying. It's time to wrap it up. It's time to number 7 cups it. Okay? 7 cups, right? That's where the scales have fallen from your eyes. Oh, I've outgrown this environment. I've outgrown this environment. Here I am valuing you. And you're talking about competing and comparing. Oh, no. We're not on the same frequency. We're not on the same frequency. I got to go. Here's the 6 of Cups. Yeah, so you're moving on to childlike faith. No, we're not on the same frequency. Some people have been married to some people like that, and in love, and married, and also in the workplace. Friendships, family members, all of that. You're moving on to childlike faith. All they care about is winning. And there's a even deeper, sinister something else beneath that. That somebody is just now, it's like a blowtorch has hit somebody. Somebody is just now awakening to something. That's why I keep trying to tell you all, Leo's fire sign, is look, the basic need for your solar plexus chakra is to feel significant, right? If you don't feel significant in someone's world and you're making them feel significant in yours, this is not rocket science. you need to move. You need to move on. The scales need to instantly fall from your eye. That's your awakening. That is your Kundalini experience. That's your spiritual awakening. Wow, I don't feel significant. I don't feel significant. And I do everything to make this person feel significant. Even on a job, you get there early, you're excited, you're all pumped up. I love this job. I'm here, this is significance to me. Not just because of a paycheck. You just there because you just really just fired up about, but you're being treated as if you're insignificant. So it's just like, it should not take whatever amount of time. So anyway, Source is saying you're learning how to find out what you have in common with people. You're learning what you have in common with people. And that's what's going to keep you on the throne. That's what's going to keep you on the throne of this compassion. Some people, all they care about is winning. That's all they care about, competing, comparing, judging. And they don't care who gets caught in the crossfire. They don't care if it's the kids, the rest of the office. They don't care. So here we have the 9 of Swords. So you can really stop talking negatively about people as a nightmare. Oh, they was a nightmare. They was this and that. You're going to stop saying that because that's invoking a nightmare for you. That's invoking a nightmare for you. If it doesn't involve adjusting crowns, like I've been saying for years, that's not the part of the conversation. That is not the part of the conversation. You're going to stop calling people a nightmare because you don't know what nightmare they came out of. They woke up from. His Ace of Wands. So yeah, so this is a new beginning for you in terms of how to use your fire responsibly. Yeah, now you have clarity. Now you have clarity. You're not confused about something anymore. Now you have clarity. Right? Of how people pull swords out of their back. People who claim to love people, talk about them behind their back as sword wounds all in their back. 10 of Swords. So Source is putting you around some other people that's going to be talking about compassion, giving people the benefit of the doubt. You don't know what goes on behind closed doors. Those are going to be more conversations that you are going to be connected with now. You don't know what goes on behind closed doors. You don't know. You have no clue as to what's going on in somebody's life behind closed doors. So a lot of people, they get up because they have to get up and go to work. Like you, have to get up and go to work. And they have to put on a smiley face when they get up and go to work. But people don't have a clue how much they've been talked about behind their back, at work. Loved ones, exes. You don't know what's going on. What kind of nightmare they just now woke up from and that they finally had to just casually move on from. And if it's a different element, they're not going to hide. If it's a different element, like if it's an air sign, water sign, or earth sign, they're not going to handle it like a fire sign. Right? So some people just calmly move on. They just stop talking to people and they just move on. They just cut ties and move on. Head hung low, they just move on. Next thing you know, you come to a meeting, people are like, oh, well, what happened to so-and-so? Or the manager may send out a message and say, oh, so-and-so gave their letter of resignation. They gone. What happened? I didn't hear. I mean, did something did I miss something? Because sometimes people are just used to chaos and confusion happening before something ends. Some people just quietly they've been talked about so much. It's like, you know what? It's just exhausting. So they move on. They stop talking about because it just invokes nightmares. So that's what Source is trying to help you to learn how to do. Is just like when you're at whatever your age is, that's your chapter of life that you're in. Remember, everybody's at their whatever chapter of life they're in. You don't know what it took for people to pull the sword out of their back, just like people don't know what it took for you to pull the sword out of your back. But from now on, from the King of Swords, Source is saying if it does not involve, I'm telling y'all, if it does not involve speaking highly of another human being, because you don't know what goes on behind closed doors, you're not going to say another bad thing, period, about them, their family, nothing. Nothing at all. You're going to go straight into prayer for them, for real. Because you do not know. You're leaving behind a particular belief system. Oh, they just a wolf in sheep's clothing. You can't trust them. They keep people in the dark about. You getting all that gossiping mess because you don't know. You really don't. Especially if there's kids, looking at this card right here, especially if there's kids involved and they're within earshot. Everybody knows that kids are not really watching TV. They're not really on their game devices and stuff. They listen to what adults are saying, and it's invoking a nightmare for them. If there's kids involved, it's invoking a nightmare for them. But imagine, looking at the cards here, you're an adult. Let's say you're 30, 40, 50, whatever your age is, and you've been hearing it that length of time, that many chapters of your life, and it took you that long to move on. That's how long you've been tormented. So there's a reason why it takes people a long time to move on from nightmares. It could be kids involved. It could be, it could be a lot of things. It could be threats involved. It could be just a whole lot of things. So Source is saying somebody from now on, you're going to look at your life. You're going to look at your own life and say, if it doesn't involve speaking highly of another human being, I don't want to be a part of the conversation. There it is, death. You don't know. See these images down here where this person's crown has fallen off their head? Some people are at their lowest frequency. Some people have gone through this. This at the lowest frequency. Just that level of depression. Just that low in their feelings. So, Source is saying something is helping you to wake up from your own nightmares and to stop talking about something, right? That's how your wishes are going to get fulfilled. Your wishes are going to get fulfilled. This is going to be a week where somebody is learning how to replace all of these nightmares you've had in your life with some positive memories. That's what you're going to do. Now there's something that you're going to be able to put some things behind you. They're wolf in sheep's clothing. I believe this and I believe that. I believe this about that person. All this low vibrational stuff that really is not helping you. It's really not. Somebody is now going to start saying, I need to pour into myself. That's your moon sign. Speaking of moon, you're going to start pouring into you and just say you're flushing out all of that mess. So, as you're building, here's the Ten of Wands here. As you are building, right, yourself up, right. You're not falling for the okie doke. You're not, like I said, you're down to earth. You're relatable, but you're not going down that rabbit hole of somebody else's, fairy tale ending up being a nightmare. Again, if you go back and watch the previous video where I talked about the Seven of Cups, when I said somebody's comparing you to somebody else, oh, I could have been with this person, I could have been with that person, and you buy into that fairy tale. You buy in with, like so many other people buy into a particular fairy tale. You buy into that fairy tale, it ends up being a nightmare for some people. That's why you won't judge another person again. On this rebirth side, you will not judge another person for buying into a particular fairy tale because you don't know, how many swords they've had to pull out of their back for them to even get to thriving. So that's what Source is trying to help you with. So, more money is coming in soon. You deserve the best. At what age did your parents work on their shadow self? And at what age did you work on your shadow self? You have the gift of clairsentience. You pick up on others' vibrations, their emotions, their moods, their feelings. I see you being booked and busy and not burdened. Like, I don't see you being weighed down with just like the burden of carrying other people's past, sexual history, their mental health, emotional history, all of that stuff. Because, again, you're releasing all of that because you're saying that is actually, it actually mirrors you. It shows a reflection of who you are. So when people are saying to you, I could have gotten a better you, to you, Leo, They're basically saying that if they could have gotten a better you, don't you think they would have? Like, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't even make any sense. Why tell you that? So it's saying stop drinking the Kool-Aid. Stop, not the Kool-Aid, excuse me, not the Kool-Aid, but stop drinking the potion. Stop, eating the cake, going on some peculiar journey, going down this rabbit hole of stuff, and then ends up being a nightmare for you. You like, Lord have mercy, what in the world was what was I thinking? What in the world was I thinking? Right? So root chakra cleanse. Yeah. So there's a fire sign at the root of something, an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, or somebody could have that possibly as their moon sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, at the root of something as to why somebody decided to move on. But now you're starting to wake up and snap out of some things and starting to say, never again will I judge somebody else by how they move on. Especially if it's not the same element as you. They've been talked about so much behind it. You don't know what goes on behind closed doors. You don't have a clue. It's like people don't know what's going on behind your closed doors. But you have the gift of deja vu. That's remembering the future. Close out the cycle in love. Back straight, walk away. So yeah. So it's just trying to help somebody to understand, know your worth and know your value. But before you talk about somebody else, sweep around your own front door. So it's trying to help somebody. Somebody tell you that they can find a better you. Guess what? You know what? Go ahead. Death to judgment. There it is. This is a metamorphosis that you're going through. I kept telling everybody while Pluto, which is this card right here, the judgment card, was retrograde. I kept telling people, I'm like, listen, anybody who is harshly judging anybody, you're not even going to see how it's going to come back. I kept telling people, I kept saying it in my readings, it's like, okay, it may not be retrograde anymore, but you're not going to see how it's going to come back. It's going to come back for everybody who is judging other people. It's going to come back. So Source is trying to teach somebody how to, like I said, adjust the crown. Adjust your crown and leave behind distractions. Somebody's going to feel changed, liberated, and free, but you're going to leave behind distractions, right? 7 of Cups. This is the card that came out in your previous reading, but somebody's learning how to leave behind this, I look better, I'm a better candidate for this, I'm a better this, I'm a better that. Then go compete then. That's an environment. If you didn't sign up for that, then move on. If you didn't sign up for that, because in some spaces, and I'm talking to men and women, Leos, some people will trade you in for a shinier new model. They'll trade you in for a shinier new model. And I'm talking to men and women, Leos. And you'll feel like you are very much by yourself. So if somebody is waking up, before you judge another person, you're going to stop. You're going to clamp your lips together. You're going to say, let me stop myself. I need to gain some wisdom. I need to gain some clarity. Your dreams need a practical plan. Taurus could be involved in something. And that's only because I'm seeing on that card right there. Yeah, but I keep saying in my readings, nobody on planet Earth, no human beings on this planet Earth is competition for another human being. Inner child, allow me to give compassion and love to that little one. Let me attend to its deepest needs and feelings. If you are not coming to help another human being, you could be adding to their pain. That's what Source is trying to help somebody, is like, Think about some of your friends who have been, you blinking back in hindsight, Leos, like some of your friends who you found out in hindsight were jealous of you. And I'm talking about friends. We ain't talking about just an acquaintance. We talking about friends, people you feel like, okay, we got a deep connection, right? And you found out they were jealous of you. They wanted your life. They wanted your significant other. They really wanted your life. Like they wanted to mirror everything about you. This was like some, y'all know the movie Single White Female and Single Black Female. I'm talking to men and women, Leos. They wanted your whole entire life, right? Source is saying, but you're not the only person that has gone through that, right? But somebody wanted your whole life, but did not realize what you went through, like the backstabbing, the nightmares you may have been going through behind closed doors, even to even be in that life, like constantly being compared to, I could have had somebody else, the snake energy behind closed doors, just all kinds of stuff. So source is saying to you, you're never going to judge somebody else. So somebody could like dance or be a dancer, or y'all see dance on the card, but something that almost made somebody want to stop dancing at this point. That's 1 and 8 is 9. But yeah, somebody almost wanted to leave dancing behind. Yeah. Yep. Somebody almost wanted to leave dancing behind. Or you're believing in, like, because the number 18 is the moon card, right? So you're learning how to believing in, dancing again, but something could have just like really turned you off. Like something could have really, really turned you off to a point where you didn't even want to create, the constant competing comparison, and I could have gotten better than you, and this day, especially. Yep, so that's what I have for you all. Let's see what your number is. Let me see if we got any other. So I see you back in the saddle again. Somebody may be going on vacation, maybe taking a flight somewhere, maybe taking a trip by themselves, taking a flight somewhere. Again, take only what resonates with you, because you got all the information you need. You got all the information you need. You're like, you know what? You're down to earth. You're relatable. You get it. You can relate to something like that, where people basically treat people like they can easily replace them. You're done. You're going back to working on yourself. Yep. So it's a new beginning for somebody. Brand new beginning. This is the Ace of Spades. The brand new beginning for you. Brand new beginning for you, right? So you're kind of going back to your childhood memories, like very nostalgic, just going back to your own childhood memories, and just going back to just a happier time for you, where you was kind of sort of just in this exploring mode, just kind of like, really couldn't come out of your shell in a way, and you're just kind of sort of connecting with people in that regard. Like, okay, what does it feel like when people are trying to kind of sort of come out of their shell, when they're trying to discover things about themselves, right? So, but trying to discover things about themselves in a toxic environment that can limit that, right? They're trying to discover things, and they can't because they're in a toxic environment. So that doesn't really help them to discover. So it's giving you a different level of compassion now. It's like we're talking about water, we're talking about sexuality, sensuality, we're talking about creativity, we're talking about emotions, feelings. So let's say, for instance, somebody says they want to play the clarinet. Let's say they want to play in the band, and was, like one time at band camp. But like somebody said they want to play an instrument, a woodwind instrument or whatever, right? So people tease them and be like, who plays the clarinet? Who plays the clarinet? Woo. If they're not in an environment that's going to, support, their dreams, we're talking about the moon, the dreams, then for them it can be harder for them to kind of sort of feel like it's safe to even come out and say that, right? So let alone anything else, right? So let's say you said you wanted to dance, and somebody thought you was talking about a different kind of dance, and you talking about ballet. They talking about a different kind of dance. You like, well, no, actually, you were thinking about like, maybe modern dance or tap or African or ballet or different types of dance. They think it's something. Their mind go to a different place, a different type of whatever. Or talking about you behind your back. You don't fit in. You don't do this and that. So anyway, so that's what Source is trying to help somebody learn how to do is just really just kind of sort of extend grace at this point for yourself and also to other people, and just make the emotional connection and how something could have been created. Like how in the world can a belief system been created? Like, and how could something have just been yeah. So here we know, number 4, I am stable. So you bring stability and rationality to any situation. You are the rock, and your hard work and your perseverance make you a dependable friend, partner, and colleague. So that is what I have for you. But yeah, so like I said, this is kind of like a spinoff from your first reading. If anybody's basically telling you they can replace you, that's what you're gonna have. That's what you have in common with other people. It's not by coincidence that Source sends people across your path. They may have gone through the exact same thing where somebody told them that they can be replaced too, and they just decided to just move on. So that's what Source is trying to help you to learn how to do. All right? Bye.